So for you all that have been following me for a while, you might know that I took the MCAT with accommodations. And thanks to this platform, I've had the opportunity and the privilege of connecting with a lot of you who are either going through the process of applying for accommodations or seeking testing accommodations, or have just sent me DMs about your experience about testing with accommodations and the application process for the AAMC. And I honestly feel that this entire MCAT accommodations process application is not culturally responsive at all. If you're not familiar with the process, then you might not know that the AAMC requires the utmost proof in order for you to actually receive the accommodations that you're asking for. And they don't only require proof, but they require longitudinal proof, meaning that you've needed accommodations like your whole life and you have proof that you have XYZ diagnosis and that it affects you in XYZ way. And they need a ton of proof from a bunch of professionals with different backgrounds. And I say that this process isn't culturally responsive because of the stigma surrounding mental health and learning disabilities, especially in a lot of communities like my own. If we're having an honest conversation about mental health, most of our communities don't even acknowledge that as a thing that is important or that is valid or that should be sought out. I know in my family, personally, you kind of just have to work through it. And it's always a personal failing. It's never something to do with either the way your brain processes things, an actual mental health diagnosis, a learning disability. It's never that. It's always your own fault. And that leads to so much internalization to the point where, in my case, I didn't even want to seek out mental health services or seek out a diagnosis for my learning disability. And given how much proof the AAMC requires, this does not take into account how that stigma or that pressure, especially in marginalized communities, may prevent people from seeking those services and therefore not having years of diagnosis history or years of using accommodations. But anyways, as you can probably tell, I could talk about this forever. I have so many qualms about how the AAMC goes about MCAT accommodations processes, and this is just one of the many.